So, this morning I finished the book Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. Noah Hawley is the creator of the TV show Fargo, and he also did the TV show Legion, the adaptation of the mutant Marvel comic book character. Fargo is one of my favorite shows. It's one of the best things I've seen on TV, one of the best stories I've ever experienced. I love the movie, and I didn't think the TV show could be good, and then the TV show just blew me away. Every season of it is just incredible. I haven't seen the fourth season, but the first three seasons just blew me away. So when I saw Noah Hawley's novel, Before the Fall, at the Vancouver General Hospital thrift shop, I grabbed it right away. I'm very glad I did. This is definitely one of the best books I've ever read in my life. It was very easy to read. Sometimes when I'm reading a book, it makes me question whether or not I'm a writer. There's certain writers who have a language and a syntax that it impresses me so much that it makes me feel like I'm never going to be able to do this right. This book feels incredibly intelligent, but it also made me feel incredibly intelligent reading it, because I understood it all. It flowed. Every sentence, every paragraph, it never lost me, it never bored me, it never made me feel like I needed to go read something else to understand what he was fucking talking about. It was an incredibly smart book that went down so easy, which is a bit of a pun if you're familiar with the context. It's a story about people, a story about villains, a story about survivors. I really liked how much he was able to get a lot of what's been going on into the world in between these pages, in subtle ways, and really direct ways. You know, there's a lot of criticism of certain figures on the right. There's some Fox News critique. There's some Tucker Carlson and Bill O'Reilly critique. I fucking loathe those guys. It's interesting, too. Noah Hawley, like myself, seems kind of obsessed with superhero mythology. Not just the form of the comic books, but what those stories tell us. Makes me think that he must be a big fan of Alan Moore and probably Grant Morrison and a bunch of others. Makes you feel that parasocial thing, like you feel a connection. I feel a connection to Noah Hawley. I feel like we care about some of the same stuff and we're thinking some of the same thoughts. This was a powerfully good book. It's not a book I could have written. It's not a book I particularly want to write. I'm not jealous of him for writing it. I'm proud of him. I'm impressed. I would recommend this book to anybody who likes to read a good book. Anybody who likes character-driven stories that have something to say about life. Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. One of the best books I've ever read. I'm really proud of him for doing such a good job. Not just some television bum. You're a goddamn writer. But I think he already knows that. Nevertheless, very enjoyable experience. I'm really glad I found this book. I'm really glad I read it. When I got to those last 50 pages, man, I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop reading it. I enjoyed it, every page, to the last drop. If anything, I just want to talk to him about what happens next. And I got a couple little theories. There's a character with a name that I think is kind of interesting and how it relates to a larger aspect of the story. Possibly a comic book reference. I'd love to talk to him about it. I don't want to write this book, but I'd like to write something this good at some point in my life. Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. Excellent. All the stars and thumbs up all the way. Highly recommended.